What did you do when you found your aunt sabotaging your wedding? I thought I had an aunt I really looked up to. She was kind-hearted, always looking out for me when I needed her the most. But on the night before my wedding day, she started acting really strange. She came up to me and said, "I think your groom is the wrong man for you." So I asked what in the world she was talking about, but she wouldn't elaborate further. All she said was, "You'll see someday how wrong he was for you." I couldn't help but scowl at her. This felt so wrong and intrusive of her. Then on the day of the wedding, she did all kinds of crazy things. First, she brought her dang dog with her, and I had to ask her to bring him home because he was jumping up and down on everyone and disrupting the whole quiet atmosphere. Then she started snooping around, asking all kinds of questions, trying to make her way to talk to the cooking staff as if she was buddies with them. At the wedding ceremony, she told her kids to start dancing in the middle of the aisles while the priest shot her dirty looks. She just shrugged her shoulders as if completely unbothered. As soon as we sat down at the reception is when all heck really broke loose. She began to snoop around the cookie table in the back, which was strictly off limits, stuffing cookie after cookie into her mouth and then into her purse. She even took out her phone and started taking pictures of the desserts. That's when someone from the cooking staff alerted me to the problem. They asked me to come out and confront her since, well, she was my aunt. So I went up to her and said, excuse me, Aunt Jessica, but what are you doing in the back there? The staff has told me that you've been a nuisance, to say the least, I asked. It isn't funny. I snapped at my uncle as soon as he threw me a half smile, which quickly faded. Julie, I need to be completely honest with you. I can't see you marrying the man you chose. He's not special enough for you, Aunt Jessica replied. I thought it was a weak excuse, but oh well. Well, I'm glad that you think this is your decision, because it's not. I'm not even your daughter, I snapped. All you're doing is being a complete nuisance and bother. Please take a seat, I said as calmly as possible. That's when all heck broke loose even more as soon as the photographers came out. Aunt Jessica started throwing cookies and other treats at the photographers' lenses, right in their faces. What are you doing? I screamed, but then she went for the kill. As soon as she saw my groom in her line of sight, she held a knife from the dining tables up to his neck. Luckily, my groom John was so much quicker than Aunt Jessica. As soon as she made a dive for him, he made a grab for her wrist and clutched it so that she was frozen in place. What do you want with me? John hissed. Why me? Why not them? He motioned toward the rest of the bridal party. I know you've been screwing with my daughter, she whispered so no one could hear except for me. Lady, you're psychotic, John snapped. I love Julie and that's all there is to it. I fell in love with her from the moment I met her, he explained angrily. You're so ridiculous, Aunt Jessica snapped, clearly losing her cool out on the dance floor. The crowd began to roar. It was supposed to be my wedding, so why was Aunt Jessica making all of this suddenly about her? Julie, sweetie, I'm looking out for your own good. You can trust me, Aunt Jessica shouted across the dance floor. That's when I heard a gasp from somewhere in the crowd. Oh my God! A whole wave of voices shouted. It was Julie, my cousin, and she was clearly not happy. She had been away on a work trip for quite some time and hadn't been informed of the wedding. I just assumed she couldn't go, so I didn't invite her. But someone had just tipped her off, and now she was fuming. John, get your butt off that dance floor, she shouted loudly enough for the entire ballroom to hear. You cheated on me. You cheated on that bish, she cried, motioning toward me. Why would you pit two women against each other like that, especially two women who are relatives? You're sick, and she threw some cake at him. On that day, I undid my wedding vows and thanked my Aunt Jessica for trying to tell me the truth, even if she hadn't said it in a way I would have chosen.